So, hello everybody. Welcome to today's online session, ASEAN Wind Energy Virtue 2021, in conjunction with Wind Future Awards Virtue 2021. Great to have all of you here. My name is Molly Huang, Content Manager of Leader Associates, and your host for the next 2 hours. A brief overview of the agenda. As you can see, there are 2 features mainly. Firstly, Vietnam Wind being the topic of the hour, and the second is a grand virtual awarding ceremony for the Wind Future Awards 2021, aiming to recognize and honor the best players who contribute significantly in the market amid the challenging time. Please, every audience, be reminded that the Q&A box is open throughout today's session. And if you have any questions to the speakers, please don't hesitate to raise in the control panel. We'll try to accommodate as many as possible. In the meantime, today's session is also being recorded and will be shared with all registrants later this week by email. And all right, that's pretty much everything about opening. Considering we have a very packed schedule today, I'd like to start with our CEO panel right away. How can wind energy play a bigger role in Vietnam and ASEAN? Join us here are Mr. Chung, Head of Business Development, APAC of Enel Green Power, Mr. Markus Lesser, CEO of PNE of Germany, Bundit Sapianchai, Chief Executive Officer of BCPG Public Company of Thailand, Mr. Yi-Hua, Senior Vice President of Green Investment Group, and last but not least, Mr. Matthias Bausenwein, President APAC of the global leading green energy major, 𝐁𝐤. Welcome, my fellow colleagues. Please unmute yourself and open up your camera. So, can you see me clearly?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So the panel will break into 3 parts. Firstly is the panelist introduction. Each panelist will be given 1 minute to introduce themselves, followed by a one-on-one interview section, so that audience can have a better understanding for each player's latest market move and focus areas. In the third part, we will take the form of a moderated discussion and down to the key issues in the market, such as the regulation challenges, the grid curtailments, financing, supply chain, etc. And I hope it's clear to everyone. Great. And now let's get it started. First up, everyone, please do a brief introduction about yourself, your company, where are you joining from? And I would like to invite 𝐿𝐢𝐻, you take the lead.
Hey, Molly. Hello, everybody. My name is 𝐿𝐢𝐻 Chung, and I am the head of business development of the Asia Pacific region for Enel Green Power. Enel is a multinational power utility, and Enel Green Power, which is the division devoted for renewables, is the largest private operator of renewable energy plants in the world, with about 40 gigawatts of operating capacity. In the Asia Pacific, we are present with operating assets in Australia and in India. And our 2 newer markets are South Korea and Vietnam. And for those 2 new markets, I am also the acting country manager. So nice to be here, and thank you, Molly, and your crew for inviting me to this event.
Thanks, 𝐿𝐢𝐻. And next up, Bundit.
Okay, thanks, Molly. And first of all, thanks for having us today, sharing our story, our experience to all of you. BCPG is the subsidiary of Bangchak Corporation. Bangchak Corporation is a kind of national energy company. The government holds about 40% in our company, and the rest is in public. Bangchak Corporation is a total integrated energy company. We have 3 business units. We're starting from the oil and gas through refinery and a gas station retail market, which is the first business unit, a very conventional way of producing energy. And the second one is ourselves, BCPG, which is the flagship of green energy. We are a pure play of green energy generation. We have 4 technology in 5 different geographies throughout Asia. We have solar farm and wind farm here in Thailand. We have solar in Japan. We have wind energy in Philippines. We have geothermal in Indonesia. We have hydropower plant in Laos, and we are building a very large wind farm in Laos and connecting to Vietnam, which to be online probably another 3 years from now. All right. So this is what BCPG is doing. Okay. Thank you very much.
Bundit, and I'd like to welcome Markus. Markus, your turn.
Yeah, good morning, Ollie, and the auditorium. So yeah, my name is Markus Lesser, CEO of PNE Wind, PNE AG, and we are just right now 30 years in the renewable business. PNE is, we call ourselves now clean energy solution provider because we want to deliver also solutions for areas and markets. Our core business is to be a developer and for a long time, and we extend our business. Just right now, we initiated investments of around 12 billion euros. We are in 13 countries. Just right now, we have a pipeline of projects in wind and PV of around about 6.5 gigawatts. And we have our target in the first run to get 500 megawatts in our own ownership of wind projects. So we extend our business furthermore. We are stock market listed, and we developed the offshore industry in Germany. I would say we are a pioneer in this branch. And so we have just right now experience. We started in 1998, and we developed the business in Germany. And just right now we developed 2,600 megawatts in Germany, and whereby 1.3 gigawatts are already in operation by Ørsted.
Great, thanks, Markus. And now Yi-Hua.
Thanks, Molly. It's Yi-Hua Liu here, Senior Vice President at Green Investment Group. So Green Investment Group is a division of Macquarie, which develops and invests in renewable energy projects right around the world. Macquarie is one of Australia's best known financial institutions and also synonymous with infrastructure and energy. GIG operating across 25 markets globally. We have 450 plus staff, and we have a big presence. I think some of the key numbers are we've supported close to 10 gigawatts of operational projects right around the world, and we have close to 30 gigawatts of project in development globally. My personal role, I wear 2 hats. I'm the country director for GIG in Vietnam, and also I'm the APAC head of origination for offshore wind. And so APAC for us for offshore wind means starting from South Korea, Japan, the Taiwan market, Vietnam, Philippines, and then stretching right down to Australia. I think the other things to note is obviously GIG has a big heritage back in the UK in offshore wind, and then in Asia Pac we're very active. So in South Korea we're developing some gigawatts of floating offshore wind projects. In Japan we have some partnerships cooking. In Taiwan we're one of the most active early vanguard developers. So we have a project in operations, one in construction, and some large ones in development. And in Vietnam and in the Philippines, we have both onshore and offshore renewable projects in development, again in the gigawatt scale. So very excited to be part of the panel today, and thank you for inviting.
Thanks, Yi-Hua. And last but not least, Matthias.
Yes, thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be part of this panel. My name is Matthias Bausenwein. I'm responsible for our business in Asia Pacific here at Ørsted. We have been in Asia Pacific for around about, well, this is our 6th year more or less. We do a lot in Taiwan, mainly offshore wind, but we're also in Japan, Korea, and Vietnam. As Ørsted, we are the global leader in offshore wind. You know, we do onshore renewables, PV, and onshore wind. We do hydrogen, but offshore wind is a major part of our work. We develop, we build, and we operate offshore wind farms. We stay on board of these big projects and wind power plants for the lifetime, 25 to 30 years. And we have now a track record for, let's say, it must be more than 30 years. So we can call us the world leading knowledge center of offshore wind. And we are responsible for over 25% of the installed capacity or just under construction capacity in the world. So our ambition is to reach 30 gigawatt of offshore wind by 2030. And then another 20 gigawatt of onshore renewables on top of that. So around about 50 gigawatt of renewables by 2030 across Americas, Europe, and Asia Pacific.